This year could be the warmest since records began. Thanks to a strong El Niño and fossil fuel emissions, the UN's weather agency has revealed. According to the World Meteorological Organization, global warming has stoked more floods, fires and rising sea levels. It made the claims today at climate change talks in Marrakesh, overshadowed by Donald Trump's election win. President-elect Donald Trump has called climate change a hoax, and a source in his transition team says he is seeking quick ways to pull the U.S. out of the 2015 Paris Agreement, which aims to shift the world economy away from fossil fuels towards renewable energy. The WMO said this year would be the warmest since records began in the late 19th century, with average surface temperatures 1.2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial times. 16 of the 17 hottest years recorded have been in this century. Another year, another record, WMO Secretary General Petteri Tala said in a statement in Marrakesh, Morocco, where almost 200 nations are discussing ways to slow climate change. The heat, with impacts such as melting Greenland ice and damage to Australia's Great Barrier Reef, was stoked by an El Niño weather event in the Pacific early in the year and by man-made greenhouse gases, mainly from burning fossil fuels. The extra heat from the powerful El Niño event has disappeared. The heat from global warming will continue, he said. The Geneva-based WMO said it was very likely that 2016 would be the hottest, barring a freak chill in coming weeks. The Paris deal, backed by almost 200 nations including the United States but rejected by Trump, has an overriding goal of limiting the rise in temperatures to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial times, ideally 1.5 degrees Celsius. Earlier today, a scientific report projected that world carbon dioxide emissions were expected to stay flat for the third year in a row in 2016 and that U.S. emissions would fall by 1.7% in 2016, driven by declines in coal consumption. President Barack Obama has made fighting climate change a key policy, and the U.S. was the driving force behind the design of the Paris Agreement. Because of climate change, the occurrence and impact of extreme events has risen, said Tolles. Once-in-a-generation heat waves and flooding are becoming more regular. Sea level rise has increased exposure to storm surges associated with tropical cyclones, he said. The most damaging weather event in 2016 was Hurricane Matthew, which killed more than 500 people in Haiti. It said the Yangtze Basin in China had its worst summer flood since 1999, killing 310 people and causing an estimated $14 billion in damage. Record daily temperatures were recorded from South Africa to Thailand. Canada had its worst recorded wildfire in May around Fort McMurray, Alberta. Data from the UN Refugee Agency said 19.2 million people were displaced by weather, water, climate and hazards such as earthquakes in 2015, more than twice as many as for conflict and violence, it said.